Greetings, everyone. This is Danny from Harr Travel, and I am so excited to be with you this Tuesday night because we're talking about cruising. And well, cruising is my all-time favorite thing. It's my kids, my wife's, my family. And today I'm going to go over some of my favorite cruise news stories. Well, not necessarily all my favorites, but all ones that I think are important for you to know about. I'll dig deep in, and then I'll answer all of your questions. So keep those questions coming. You can leave them right there in the chat. I'm going to start with the cruise news, and then I'll dive back into them. But just a really quick introduction. My name is Danny. I run Harr Travel. We're based here in Southern California, but we have advisors all around the United States. Our goal is to help book the perfect cruise for you, to make sure that everything is seamless end to end. And in my ambition to get to be the best, I've been on over 300 cruises, coming up on 1,500 days at sea. And I've actually set foot on over 400 ships. So I love that I get to talk to you each and every single week. I'm going to dig in now. The very first thing that we're going to start with is some exciting Royal Caribbean news. Well, we all love Royal Caribbean. And in addition to all the wonderful things that I'm going to talk about in the news, this Thursday, we're doing a very special live with Royal Caribbean. On this, I'm going to talk everything new 2026 Royal Caribbean. I'll dive deep. On the news, we kind of just dive into smaller bits, and then I answer all of your questions. But we're going to dive deep into it. And more important than that, you can win a free cruise for up to 4. All you have to do is click on the link. Daniel's going to put the link right here in the chat. We'll pin it for you. You do need to sign up. You do need to be present to win. But once again, that's this Thursday night. If you'd like to join us, we already have almost 500 people signed up to join. Once again, let me know your questions. We'll make sure and answer all of them there as well, but a deep dive into everything Royal Caribbean. So once again, I see the link there. Feel free to click. Register. You're going to get an email. You'll get a reminder about an hour prior to the stream. And then after the stream's over, even if you can't make it, it's going to send you a copy of it so you can dig in. So once again, Royal Caribbean live this Thursday night. But without further ado, let's do the news. So first off, I see a couple people in here. I'll just say a quick hi really quick. That was double quick, so it's going to be really, really fast. Hello from Nevada, Poker Queen. I love that. I've got a lot of family in Nevada. In fact, the First Lady of Poker is my aunt. So there we go. Good evening to you. And there we go. Sorry about that. All right. It's fighting me just a little bit. Perfect. All right. Well, good evening. And got a couple hellos in there. And I'm going to go ahead and dig in now. So first off, big news from Royal, Celebrity, and Silversea. And this is something everybody who cruises on those 3 lines has asked for. Points Choice is live as of January 30th. What that means is that you'll be able to cruise on a Royal Caribbean cruise and pick. Do you want to have your points go to your Celebrity account? Do you want your points to go to your Venetian Society account for Silversea? Or do you want to take it as Royal points? I've got some very dedicated Royal customers that are trying Celebrity for the first time. They're almost to Pinnacle, so they're really excited to get their points on Royal. And then, heck, you can head back and be Zenith or Pinnacle. So once again, Royal, Celebrity, and Silversea, they will status match. So if you're top tier with one, you'll get the same with the other. They will also allow you to pick which of the cruise lines you want your points on. This is a huge win, guys, an absolutely huge win. Kudos to Royal, Celebrity, and Silversea. In addition, steel cutting ceremony. So I should have grabbed my hard hat over there. I see it right now, but Royal has cut steel on Icon 5. It's crazy to even think. They also took out options for Icon 6 and Icon 7. So once again, Legend of the Seas is, well, it's getting close to being done now. She'll be coming out this summer. We don't yet have a name for the 4th, though I hear that might be coming really, really soon here. So let us know. And on that note, if you would like to be the first to know when a new itinerary comes out, make sure you add to our deployment list. You can shoot an email over to info@harrtravel.com or let your advisor know. But this way, as soon as we know the deployment's coming, we'll get it all queued up. And over the last 3 or 4 major deployments from Oceania, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, we've been able to get our guests 100% of the things that they're looking for, even those 4-bedroom suites or the unique unicorns that there's only 1 or 2 on a ship. So, but digging into that, once again, Icon 5 is now having steel cut. So we've got Icon 3 coming out this year, 4 next year, 5 the year after, and then options for 6 and 7. And also, I can't talk too much about it because, as I've explained to many of you, I do have an NDA with Royal, but more information is coming really soon for Project Discovery. We've actually been talking to them about some of the stateroom design, different things like that, but really, really excited for this new class of ship. But Royal's doubled down on their partnership with Meyer Turku for great reason. I was lucky enough to visit Icon in the shipyard right before she was launched, but super excited for that. Everything Royal Caribbean, guys. Royal Caribbean, think about that. In a couple of years, they could have 7 Icon class ships, 7 or 8 Oasis class ships, and then a whole new class of ship. But shareholders are pretty happy right now. We do have a new share earnings report is coming up the 29th of January, and love to hear a little bit more about what's going on. And on other news, sadly, these are going away. I love these. I always get them on every ship we go on. For whatever reason, Starbucks has ended that partnership. So I do have quite a few, but not making them anymore. So bummer on that. But let's continue to talk about Royal for a minute. Royal has canceled Labadee through December. So I do appreciate that everybody has the opportunity to plan. I'm bummed, though, because Labadee is phenomenal. I do understand what's happening in the country. I understand why it's the right decision for Royal Caribbean. But once again, they will not be visiting Labadee basically through the end of 2026 at least. Okay. Royal Beach Club, it's almost done. It's still having some little bits being worked on. We're going to head down and film that for you, but of course not until it's done, because we like to create those evergreen videos that you can watch for many years to come. But I did want to point out something that we have learned from our guests. Where the ship departs from, and you actually get on a little ship, little boat, and you'll head over to the beach club, and then it comes and drops you off at the front of the pier. Just make sure that you plan ahead for that, as it is a bit of a walk. I'm being told that they do have accessibility carts and things like that. But basically, you have to go through security at the beginning of the port, and it's about a 12 to 15-minute walk. So just keep that in mind when you're planning with the kiddos, the other family members. And I did want to say that we still have a lot of guests that go to Atlantis. Right there, we can send you the link for that partnership. Baja Mar is another great destination. But guys, having Royal have the beach club there for Celebrity, Royal, and Silversea, it's phenomenal. And I did want to point out that it's a partnership with the Bahamian government and the Bahamian people. That's one of the reasons it's not like Perfect Day where everything's complimentary. Royal only owns half of that partnership. And so once again, they spend a lot of money to build it. You do have to pay for entrance, and you can pay for a package with or without alcohol if you'd like. And then also they have some great cabana opportunities. But guys, I've been in Nassau a lot. I haven't got off the ship a lot lately because I've been there and I've done so many things. And so having this is going to be a huge win for me and my family. I know that for sure. Once again, guys, I'm going to go through the news here. I got some more stories, and then I'll answer all your questions. Keep them coming. And of course, if you have a favorite Harr travel advisor who takes great care of you, give them a shout out here. They actually benefit. I always reward them when they get a shout out because it tells me that you love what they do for you. Okay, so through with the Royal news for this moment, and I'm going to step into Celebrity. And I have been really excited for this for some time. But Celebrity Cruises the Celebrity Solstice is entering the dry dock in Singapore. This is a 45-day dry dock. And guys, this is a symbol of what's to come for the Solstice class of ships. One of my favorite classes of ships ever built, the first with live grass on it. Several firsts there, the first ice top martini bar, things like that. But this is a massive renovation. They're touching every room. They're basically gutting most of the rooms, going down to steel. They're also going to be adding some brand new suite categories. They're where the shops used to be in the spa, also where the conference center used to be. They're adding in some unique suites. So let your Harr travel advisor know. But if you're a suite fan, you're now going to have the full retreat sun deck. It's really a fantastic option the way they do it. But more than that, they're adding a brand new Italian restaurant, Trattoria Rossa. I love Italian food. I can't wait to see what that's all about. And taking an area that's not been utilized enough, and they're adding in, let's see, the exact wording they're calling it is Boulevard Lounge and Bar. So this is an area where you're going to have some bites to eat, some great sport games, all kinds of different things down there. But guys, they're doing a massive renovation. A regular dry dock takes about 2 weeks. 45 days costs the company a lot of money. Therefore, they're going to do it right. They're going to invest a ton of money in it. And then this ship is going to head out after the Alaska season for an incredible world cruise. There's still some space on the segments if you want to let us know. In addition, with Celebrity, I already talked about that when we talked earlier, but I just wanted to kind of share that we're getting insanely wonderful feedback on Excel. I cruised on Excel on the very first pre-inaugurals. I loved it, had a great time. But the bazaar concept, all of that has been a big win. And that was my other Celebrity news. Sorry about that. Is they're adding 4 new festivals. So if you're familiar with the bazaar, if you haven't watched our video yet, you haven't because we haven't put it out. We're working on that still. As soon as I have my back, slow down because I get excited. Having my my back procedure on Friday. I can't tell you guys, I'm so excited for this. Help me get out of pain and get back up filming. But I got a lot of reach outs from you guys after the last week, letting me know that you're sending prayers, thinking about me and my family. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me. Hope I don't get emotional again. But, anytime you deal with an injury, constant pain, things like that, it impacts every part of your life. And so I'm excited to be able to lift the kids back up and be part of that part of my life. So anyways, I digress. But the Celebrity Excel has the brand new bazaar where Eden was. So it's a massive area where you've got LED screens, floor to ceiling glass that goes up 2 stories, wraps all the way around. But what they do is unique festivals to the places that they're visiting. And so the festivals that they're adding are going to be Italian, Greek, Spanish, and then Turkey and Morocco as well. And I think that's going to be awesome because they bring that destination on board. You get back on the ship after experiencing it, and then you can do some shopping, some dining, and everything themed to that. All right, let's keep going with the news. Let's see. Norwegian Aura, huge news story this week. Norwegian announced the launch of the Norwegian Aura coming out in late May, early June of 2027. And for those who aren't familiar, this is the 5th in the Prima class of ships. But the first 2 ships, they've continued to grow. So the first 2 ships essentially were the same size. And then with the 3rd and 4th, they added a block. This is roughly 10 meters, about 30, 35 feet or so, which allowed them to expand things on Luna and on Aqua. For Aura and the brand new ship coming out after her, they're going to add another block. So this is the biggest ship that Norwegian has ever built. And keep in mind, just for those who are waiting for it, this is 2027 and 2028 when these ships come out. 2030 is when we're going to see their massive Oasis-sized class ships that are going to be the next coming out. But guys, Aura, I think, is a grand slam home run. They're able to do everything on the top deck that they've wanted. They have 5 very unique slide options for you to take advantage of. They also have a new ropes course. That was a huge hit on Escape and some of the other ships. I love that that's coming back as well. You're also going to have the new enhanced Ocean Boulevard. This is the area where you can walk outside the ship on deck 8. And they even put in a full kids playscape in there in the very front of the ship. Okay. In addition, a larger haven. They've put Haven Suites where Vibe Beach Club used to be, which means Vibe is expanded. The Haven's expanded as well. So lots of great things from the Norwegian Aura. I know my little guy has been watching that video nonstop. He loves it. He's so excited for it. And you better believe we'll be on board in May of 2027. In addition, Norwegian has announced they're bringing FIFA World Cup to all their ships in 2026. So every single match will be played. You don't have to miss any to go on a cruise. And in fact, they cruise out of some great destinations where the World Cup will be happening, like Los Angeles and Seattle and Vancouver, to name a few. All right, another incredible ship launch kind of happens tomorrow. Guys, Oceania is in the process of transitioning to a luxury line. They've always had luxurious amenities, lots of luxury on the suites, but they're converting to a luxury line, and the Sonata is their entryway to get there. So 33% of the ship is suites, brand new categories of suites. So the owner suites, instead of being the full aft, you now have 4 on the back corners of the ships. And the Vista suites, instead of being in the very front, they're now going to be in the aft as well. And I think the layout looks amazing. Very, very amazing. In addition, brand new Horizon suites. So this is basically the equivalent of 2 penthouses together. You also have the new deluxe penthouses, slightly larger. But more than that, you have enhanced restaurant experiences, a brand new Nikkei. This is a Peruvian and sushi-inspired concept. You're going to have an expanded Aquamar kitchen, their delicious take on spa cuisine. That's actually my favorite restaurant on there. Enhanced and expanded Jacques and Red Ginger. So all your favorites will be there. And guys, the ship is something like 25% bigger with about 6% more guests. They're truly going larger, but not in size of the ship just. They're also making it feel incredibly spacious, and it's getting closer and closer to Regents. But you've got some great options on there and pricing. Okay, Star Princess. Right now, our #1 feedback ship of 2026 is Star Princess. We do a lot with Princess. In fact, if you want to check out, they do the most incredible job in Alaska, all around the world, but Alaska specifically, I think they really hit it out of the park. We have filmed their Fairbanks Lodge, their Denali Lodge, their McKinley Lodge, the train experience. You can check all of that out. But guys, what Star Princess is going to do in Alaska is truly revolutionized. She'll be the biggest ship in Alaska, the most unique, and they have built her to capture the most out of Alaska. So when you're ready for your next Princess cruise, guys, let us know. We were their fastest growing account last year worldwide, and we love that product. It's actually the cruise line I've cruised the most on. All right. AMA Waterways has ordered 8 vessels. If you're looking for a river cruise, guys, and this might be a good time to tease, we're about 4 to 6 weeks away from launching our hosted journeys for 26, 27, and 28 all at once. And stay tuned. If you want to get on our deployment list, once again, just shoot an email to info@harrtravel.com. We'll get right back to you on there. Basically, when you're ready, reach out, let us know, and then we'll be announcing that. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for just a second. But AMA Waterways, we call it our Goldilocks. Beautifully designed ships. They have about 30, 40 less guests than a Viking. They have about 30, 40 more guests than like a Riverside Luxury. So they sit right in between, but they're one of our favorites. And guys, if you book with us, almost always we can beat the best available rate by 5% and reduce your deposit. Same thing with partners like Viking. We have some unique opportunities that we can present to you. Azamara, another cruise line that I love dearly. I'm very good friends with the president and CEO. In fact, she's my golf partner. We've golfed the last 2 years at Pebble Beach together. Dondra is amazing. And what they're doing with their $80 million Azamara Forward, I think is going to be a huge win. They're adding a penthouse deck to the Azamara Quest. And if everything goes as well as I think, they'll add it to the other ships. And then they're putting in over $20 million per ship to update staterooms, to update different concepts, to add the Atlas Bar concept to the Discovery's restaurant on the 3 ships where it doesn't exist. And if you're looking for a premium experience on a small ship that goes to incredible destinations, stays there longer than anybody else, and really dives in, Azamara is a cruise line you want to check out. My wife and I, before we had our daughter, our last 9 cruises were Azamara. So I always say, you can see what I love by where I cruise. It's another great option for you. And sister ships to some of those Azamara ships. The Oceania Regatta is getting chartered for another year. It's an Australian company, and you can actually book a 360-day cruise. Sounds good to me. Let's move on board. Disney news. We do sell Disney cruises. We're about to expand our partnership significantly. I'm actually hopping on the Disney Treasure here in just a couple weeks. So if you have any questions about that, let me know what you want me to talk about, to learn, to see as we get ready to start filming even more with them. But the Disney Adventure. So this is a unique ship with a unique story. She was originally being built for Dream Cruises. This company went bankrupt. Genting went bankrupt during the pandemic. And so they were either going to scrap the ship or basically sell it at pennies on the dollar, because when a cruise line designs a ship, it's designed for them. Excuse me. But I've heard that they're putting, well, I've heard lots of ranges of numbers, but they completely built out the incredible Disney Treasure. She'll be based in Singapore, doing short cruises to nowhere, where basically the Asian audience is going to have access to Disney. But in a unique, concept, the Disney Adventure actually stopped in Port Canaveral on her way over to Singapore. So she'll be heading now, continuing on, but it was cool to see her in Port Canaveral. So once again, Disney is amazing at a lot of things. MSC Cruises, they just ordered their 7th and 8th world-class ships. And on top of it, they also announced a brand new class of ship where they're going to build at least 4. So this is kind of the same concept of what Royal's going to do with Project Discovery, make ships that are a little bit smaller, still large in the big picture, a little bit smaller where they can get to different destinations. So lots of exciting things with MSC. And then Atlas Ocean Voyages is debuting 400-passenger sailing expedition yachts. Can't wait to see it. Of course, Atlas owns a shipyard, right? Mystic is that parent company there. It's a really unique product as well. So let us know if you're interested. Okay. All right, guys, that is all the top level news today. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to answer all of your questions. So bear with me as we do that. But what I'd like to say is really quick before I forget, make sure that you click on the link and register for our See here, make sure and register for our Royal Caribbean unique deep dive into everything Royal 2026. That's going to be this Thursday. If you join us live, you have the opportunity to win a free cruise in a balcony up to 4. We'll talk about all the terms and conditions, but it's not sponsored by YouTube. I got to throw that out there. It's sponsored by Harr Travel. But we'd love for you to join us. Even if you can't join live, sign up. You'll get a copy of the link sent to you with the recording afterwards. But we'd love for you to join us live. And we did it last week with Norwegian. We gave away a cruise. Sean, the guest that won it, is so excited, over the moon. Got to talk with him. We'd love for you to be that person on Thursday, walking away with a free cruise for your family on Royal Caribbean in a balcony to either Alaska, the Caribbean, or Mexican Riviera. So really excited for that. And guys, that's up to a 7-day cruise. All right. So I'm gonna start chatting here as we go. Say hi to everybody. Put your questions in here. And once again, don't forget to shout out your favorite Harr Travel customer experience team members and advisors. It's great for them, but also shows us the love that they share with you. All right. Lori, hello from Washington State. So excited to see you on Thursday as well. How you compare Regent to Oceania top suites? Phenomenal question. Love that question. So first off, Regent really truly has palatial residences at sea. If you look at their Grand Suites, the Regent Suite, the Explorer Suites, or the Grandeur Suites, the name suites, they're truly exceptional. And if you look at the very top, right, nothing's the same as the Regent Suite, but they're pretty similar, right? The owner suites with Oceania, especially on the Riviera, the Marina, the Vista, the Allura, they're incredible. They're the entire beam of the aft of the ship. They've got 2 balconies, an enormous amount of space. What I would say is there's more larger suites on Regent. They have a better passenger space ratio. And so I would say that Oceania is luxury, and I would say Regent is ultra luxury, kind of 5-star to 6-star. But the big suites themselves, you can see all the videos, we have them all. But what Regent's done, they just have more unique palatial residential style suites, like the Signature Suite, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, absolutely massive, grand piano, all of that. So, but I love them all. Greetings from Florida. Hello from Wayne, New Jersey. Linda Johnson is your aunt. Absolutely. She's technically my wife's aunt, but by marriage, she's family too. And we actually have, when she used to do different cruises, I've been on and helped her host and different things. But yeah, member of the family. Good evening. Hello, 326 days till Icon. Woo, you're going to love it. Hello from Palm Springs. Heading out there in just a bit to go to LG's to have a delicious steak. You know. If you know, you know. Hello from snowy Ohio, I guess. Yeah, we go. We got any Hoosiers in the house? That was a heck of a game yesterday. That was so much fun to watch. Can't wait to see the changes they put into the next Icon class ships. Me as well. Hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you. They're great. What are your thoughts on Quantum of the Seas? Pros and cons. I love Quantum. I love that they have that indoor seaplex. Of course, the ship was built with Alaska in mind. My little guy started walking for the very first time on Quantum. But I love it. I love the North Star arm. What I find that ship is perfect at is sailing anywhere in the world. What I mean by that is they've got a great solarium. So if you're in a colder environment, it's great. And also the indoor seaplex. If it's hot, it's also great to be in the indoor solarium and the seaplex as well. I love the music hall. I think it's been a transformational venue. I love 270 in the back. It's a massive venue where you've got wraparound windows for viewing, but also robot televisions. They put it together. It's a whole thing and an entire show. And as you would expect, just like Royal always does, great entertainment. What cruise line do you feel is best for Alaska? So that is a super loaded question. I'm happy to answer that, but it really depends, right? If you're in the contemporary market, it's really tough to beat the Joy, the Encore, the Bliss on Norwegian and the Haven, right? It's really tough to beat that, but also those observation lounges are amazing. But a smaller ship like the Oceania Riviera could be a perfect fit for you, or heck, uncruise, where you cruise with 50, 60 people and they literally take the kayaks off the roof, throw them down, and you're in the environment. So if you guys want to ask these questions, I love them. Keep them coming. But if you want to give me a little more detail on, kind of who you are or what the types of things you're looking for, I can give you a little bit more information. But of course, that's what our Harr Travel advisors will do for you during the consultation and as they support you throughout. Love the Quantum class. Big, but not too big. Agreed perfectly. Hello from CHC. Not sure. Is Ovation returning to Sydney? Is that Christchurch? I think Ovation is let's see, who's heading down there? Ovation is not. I believe it's going to be Anthem that's heading back. I'd have to triple check, but you will be having one of those ships down under again. First time on Royal, you're going to love it. Bill is my celebrity guy. Bill's my celebrity guy too. So he's referring to Bill on our team. He does an incredible job. Lucky enough for me, he actually cruised with me on the Excel, cruised with me on the Ascent as well. He knows celebrity inside and out. Just one of our incredible advisors that can take great care of you. Have you been on the Excel? Yep. Just talked about that a second ago. Loved it. The ship's incredible. I think perfect is the word I would use. What do you recommend to do in St. Thomas? Well, I'm going to start off with saying I'm super biased. And I love St. John. I proposed to my wife on the beach in St. John. So we always try to hop over to St. John if we can. I love it over there. It's a beautiful, it's one of America's true beauties. It's a national park, and it's just spectacular. But on St. Thomas itself, Megan's Bay is crowded, but man, do I still love it. Megan's Bay at my heart is one of my favorite places to go anywhere in the world. Having a painkiller, the drink, not the drug, right? Having a painkiller drink, that rum, the coconut, the nutmeg, it's just spectacular. The other thing, though, and we've been doing a lot more of this, is doing like a resort day pass. We did the Ritz when we were there, and it wasn't that expensive. It was less than an excursion. We did the Ritz, and they have a water slide, a great restaurant, and we love that concept. In fact, my family and I do especially in the Caribbean, we do a lot with resort day passes, just because it's so comfortable and easy. Sometimes we'll even book a room at a hotel where you can literally book it there, maybe book the night before and the day of, and you'd be shocked with how economical that can be. And traveling with little kiddos, they can take a nap, relax. You can use the pool, the facilities, the restaurants. So lots to do there. Joan is awesome. I love that. Joan's relatively new with us, not new in the industry, but man, is she awesome. And I love that. Danny, it's Clint from Massachusetts. Can an Icon class ship fit under the Verrazano Bridge? Unfortunately, it cannot. I believe. I'd have to triple check. But what I'm hearing is with the newest Icon classes, they may be targeting that where they could adjust the smokestack just a little bit. But I was told recently that it could not. But let me dig a little bit more. And if you want to send me a quick email, Clint, I'll make sure and find that answer for you. Your tours of cruise ships and amenities are some of my favorite on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love that. I want to learn more about the family ocean view balconies on Legend of the Seas. FB category. Love to hear what you know about this category. Let me see something. I think I know the one you're talking about here. I think you're talking about the Infinite Family Ocean View, the IB. I'd have to triple check because I think you're talking about the IB, but if not, I love that room. It holds 6. You've got a bunk room for kids. It's great. Everybody has their own space. The split bathroom concept that Disney debuted and hit out of the park. Love all of that. Shout out to Amanda Wint, my Harr Travel advisor. Thank you so much. She's amazing. Love that you get to work with her as well. Maggie's done a wonderful job. Whoopsie. Do we know if we're going to add any Icon style elevators on the Ovation during its amplification? So my understanding is no. I have heard that they will not be doing that. Just the infrastructure portion of it. I hope they can find a way, but I'm hearing no right now. Kudos to Amanda Wint, that helped my group get booked. I appreciate that. She's amazing, as I mentioned. Thank you. Why the Excel got rid of Eden at the back of the ship. I loved it on Apex. Well, they didn't get rid of it. They just changed the concept. So the physical space is almost the same. But like with any development, right? I love Mosaic. I love what they've done with it. I like the casual restaurant. And I love the bizarre concept of bringing the local destination on board. So, what I always say is the great news is, George, you got 4 ships that you love it on. So we always go back there or try it. You might find that you love it. Hey, from Canada, I love to watch your videos, watch them a lot. With you back in the problems, I've had them all as well. Oh, the back problems. Yes. No, I appreciate that greatly. We love our Canadian guests. We work with a ton of Canadian guests and would be very happy to help you. Is the Apex returning to the UK? I believe she'll be back there next summer, or summer of 26 and summer of 27. There we go. What ship do you think has the best aqua spa with hydro pool? Ooh, that's a great question. I think it's Norwegian Aqua, or just that whole class of Prima Viva and Aqua, and then Luna coming out afterwards. It's nobody really does it like they do that. That said, Norwegian has some other incredible thermal suites, but I think Norwegian does the best in the thermal suites, period. Already booked a cruise on the Ara for 27. I love it. Hopefully you booked it with your Harr Travel advisor. We have some great promotions. In fact, it's a limited promotion. We have 2 more days, but we have free prepaid gratuities on many Norwegian sailings. Not all of them. Of course, your advisor can go through the terms, but that's a huge benefit. I just did a family that was doing the Haven in Europe next summer. And for them, that was a savings of $500. So love that. We've got some other great promotions right now with Royal, with Celebrity, and Norwegian. Why did NASA become a Royal Caribbean only? Royal built it. So that's why it's for royal guests there. Anybody could have done it. Royal did it. Hey, y'all. All right. Will there be any more free cruise giveaways coming up in the future? There we go. Talked about it already. Another great time to do it. If you would love to join us on Thursday night, Royal Caribbean Deep Dive, we've got the comment or the link right here in the comments there. And I believe it's pinned as well. Just click on that, sign up, and you have a chance to win a cruise for 4. It's a balcony for 4. Once again, not affiliated with YouTube. We're sponsoring it ourselves. What do you think about the Allure? She's my favorite Royal Caribbean ship, period. It's hard to say that because I love Star of the Seas so much. I love Back to the Future, the musical. My kids ask for it when we get in the car every day. But Allure has always been most crew members' favorite ship. The renovation was spectacular, and I think she's perfect. Do you have any tips for a family with a 1-year-old? Ship recommendations? Yes, absolutely. But I think the big Royal ships are a great way to go. They have the nursery, and I think that makes a huge difference. Of course, your Harr Travel advisor can answer questions about how to utilize that. But the Surfside neighborhoods on Icon, Star, and Legend, for what you are looking to do with a 1-year-old, it couldn't be better. Plus, there's something for everyone. You can go to an incredible world-class show. They can get dropped off. And guys, these the nannies in there, they're kind of like Mary Poppins. Like they're amazing. They're absolutely fantastic. But once again, reach out. That's exactly what we do. We'll get a little bit more information, where you want to leave out of, where you live, all those kinds of things. And then we can help make the perfect recommendation for you. I couldn't order room service on the TV and the Apex. Is that being taken off the TVs? I don't believe so. You should also be able to do it through the app as well. Huge shout out to your cameraman, Taylor. Thank you so much. He's always done an incredible job. Cruise NYR, join us again live. There we go. Sorry. My bad. Daniel, thank you for posting that. Once again, there's that link if you want to click on it and join us on Thursday. Once again, I'll dive deep. I'll spend about 25, 30 minutes on everything Royal Caribbean 2026 and forward, including some brand new information that I have not released yet. And then we'll do the drawing, and I'll answer all of your Royal Caribbean questions. Kind of an AMA stand. Home-based agent openings, 20 years experience. Yes, so we don't have any independent contractors, but we do have openings for full-time advisors and customer experience team members. Shoot me an email, Danny@harrtravel.com. We're going to be starting the hiring process again in a couple of weeks. Let me know, and if it lines up, that'd be amazing. Hey, Danny, I'm Mark. I love watching your cruise videos. I'm going on Star of the Season April next year. Can't wait. And guys, I know I mentioned it just a minute ago, but Star, for my family, I mean, we did spend 21 days together on board. I spent a month, but everything was perfect for us. The dog, my kids looked forward to trying to find where the dog was every day, and Sailor was amazing. We loved Back to the Future, the musical. We watched it 11 times. That's how much we loved it. We also enjoyed the pools and we did a private, it's the first time I've ever done it. We did a private, I didn't, my kids did, my wife did, all the family did, flow rider session. That was an amazing thing. The mini golf was so much fun, base camp food. It's such an incredible ship. I love it. And for me personally, with my family, it gives me quick nostalgia. Signed up. Can't wait to see you there. Would Royal Caribbean ever upgrade you if you booked a normal room to a suite? No. There was a time many years ago. But with their Upgrade Advantage program, guys, Royal, Celebrity, Norwegian, Oceania, Princess, Viking, Regent, they all use the same program. And you bid on upgrades. And because that's the case, they're never going to upgrade somebody when somebody else has already signed up to pay for that upgrade. And it's a great program. Do you prefer Royal over Carnival? I do. Carnival's got some great attributes. I love Guy's Burger. I love Blue Iguana. The comedy is unbelievable. But Royal is always my personal preference. All right. Just got a quote from Harr yesterday. I love that. Let us know. We can help you get that closed out and locked and loaded. I'll be staying in a Sunset Corner suite. I'm from Colorado. You're going to love it. I love the After the Ship, and that is one of the best suites out there. Shout out to Robert Cook at Harr Travel. He is great. I appreciate that. Love to hear that. Which is better, Sun Princess or Star? I think they're pretty equivalent. I'm going to say Star just because they had everything kind of baked in already. They knew what they were going to do. But don't sleep on Sun. She's amazing. Also go to different places. 39 days until Excel. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I can't tell you how much you're going to love it. About 200 days till Prima, booked by Maggie. I love that. Maggie does an amazing job. Thank you so much. My heart is swelling with pride. Very much so. I've booked my third cruise with Harr Travel, and my agent is Pablo Elvira. Has been amazing since day one. I love to hear that, and he will as well. Question, what was the hardest ship to film your tours of? So there's a couple ways to evaluate that. So one, hardest, as far as physically hardest, I mean, it's always tough to do the big royal ships because we have 45 room and suite categories and the biggest ship ever built. So physically, that's always the toughest. But for different reasons, we've had logistically tough, ways of doing things as well. So, I mean, I think Star, Icon, those biggest royal ships because of how they are. Now, I'll say the coolest opportunity that we ever had was we sailed with the Norwegian Viva out of the shipyard. So we were the only people on board except for contractors and crew. So that was actually one of the best. But the hardest ones, about 80% of what you see us film, we get on the ship at 7 to 7:30 a.m. and we're off the ship by 2 p.m. or so, 2:30. So we're trying to coordinate getting all the rooms, the suites, the ship, all of it. It's kind of insane. And that's the reason you don't see more of it out there is it's really bonkers. Just wanted to say, Danny, we are going to be first-time cruisers to Alaska. Daniel, our Harr agent, has been great. He helped us change our rooms. We saw our original room on YouTube wasn't for us. I love that. That's perfect. And Daniel does an amazing job. You're going to love Alaska. Keep in mind, if you're interested, we do have a video for the train, the White Pass train in Skagway. I think it's the best excursion in Alaska for a lot of reasons, but it's amazing. There's plenty of incredible ones too. Helicopter landing on a glacier, dog sledding, all of those things. But you're going to love it. The other thing that I wanted to say is we have the backcountry Jeep tour filmed. We also have the zip line and icy straight point. So got some great videos if you want to check it out. Do you like Viking as adults? I do. And you know what? I think I put that on the last cruise news, but one of the big announcements is Oceania is going to adults only. All new bookings from here forward, it's an adults only ships, or they will be adults only ships. Viking has consistently our highest guest satisfaction. Our guests typically book their next cruise while on board. And I think Viking's got it dialed in. They provide consistency, excellent food, phenomenal service. And the ships, once again, it's a bit of a Goldilocks, not too big, not too small. And with Viking, you can cover most of the world's navigable rivers. You can go to Antarctica. You can go up to Iceland and do Greenland and all of the Arctic. And then you also can sail to the 4 corners of the earth and the 7 continents. So Viking does a great job. I'm good, Karen. Thank you. Sailing Star of the Seas in 19 days. Thanks for all the great star content. Happy to provide that. Do you cruise lines have tennis? Nobody truly has a full-size tennis court. The closest is probably Holland America. A lot of pickleball, paddleball. In fact, Holland is the official cruise line of the, I think, American Pickleball Association, if I'm not wrong. But those ships with sport courts, you can play a pretty darn good at pickleball. Robert, so helpful. Emily is so amazing as well. Anytime we have questions, we can count on someone knowing the answer. I love that, guys. Thank you so much for sharing that feedback. Just joined Harr Travel with Joan. Love that as well. She does an amazing job. Another great shout out for Bill. I heard Princess was amazing for their stops in Alaska. They do. They have the best docks. They have the most occupancy in Alaska. And, they've been there. Actually, I think Holland may have been there slightly longer than them, but somewhere in the range of 60 or 70 years. What would be your favorite restaurant on Allure? I really like the Brazilian steakhouse concept. So I really do like that. But, oh, man, I think that's a hard one. Chops. I'm going to go back and I always can get a good steak. So I'm going to go back there. Have you seen the new terminal, Royal Caribbean Terminal in Miami? Yeah, I've sailed out of there quite a few times. And in fact, some of you who are sailing with Royal might be sailing out of the new MSC terminal coming up. And guys, that terminal is perfection. Spectacular. Well done. Hey, Thalina. First off, huge congratulations on your promotion. We are very sad that we won't be working as closely with you, but nobody deserves it more than you. You always take great care of us and our customers. And guys, just to kind of show you that partnership, Thalina actually works for Silversea. She's here joining the chat. And when we need something for our Silversea guests, she gets it done. So thank you so much. I love that. How do you tell what perks soda you might offer for a particular sailing without having to take up your travel agent's time? Well, I mean, first off, you're not taking up the travel agent's time. So what I will say is every sailing we can do your prepaid gratuities on. Refundable deposits, if you want to hold the spot on our website, right, you can see exactly what it is. But our advisors are there specifically for that. They love to talk to you through the booking process, let you know what's refundable, what's not, what kind of packages. Now, your cruise planner is where you're going to book all the packages after you book. But our advisors and our customer experience team are always happy to give you that advice. So once again, guys, when you're reaching out to us, especially for the first time, you can email info@harrtravel.com. You can dial our 888 number, just Google it. Or you can, those are the two easiest ways. They're going to connect you with an advisor. And then when you book with Harr Travel, your advisor works the normal 40-hour work week, but we have our 7-day-a-week customer experience team there to support you every step of the way. No Legend has a family ocean view balcony, one on deck 12. I'll have to check that out. I'm not sure exactly which one that is. Yep, still the same answer, Royal every time. Went on Apex out of Southampton last year. I love Apex. That was my son's, I think that was his very first cruise. We did 3 back-to-backs. Thanks for your videos. After hearing you talk about the Bliss, we booked a cruise in Haven. I hope you booked it with Harr Travel. We've had some great free prepaid gratuity promos on the Bliss right now as well. That 7-day cruise to Alaska, we can save you $350 and then add our other amenities. Went on Norwegian Pride of America a few years ago. I love her. Royal or celebrity? I mean, it depends on who you're with when you're going. We love both. But if it was just my wife and I, we'd probably always choose celebrity. If it was the kids going as well, we'd almost always choose Royal. But it depends on where we're going and the ship. Do you have a current favorite ship? Yes. I mentioned a minute ago Allure of the Seas. So she's up there. And I'm going to give it a 3-way tie. Allure of the Seas, Norwegian Bliss. So many great memories on there. She's just an incredible ship. And I'm going to add in Star of the Seas. So also 3 of my last cruises. But with each of those 3 ships, I have incredible family memories that I've created. Will Royal Caribbean add more newer ships and more destinations to Cape Liberty? The problem with Cape Liberty is there's not that many places you can go, right? You can go to Bermuda, you can go to Canada, New England, or you can go down to the Bahamas, or to go to the full Caribbean, you have to do a lot more. So I was pumped that they're putting, Symphony is going to be there, and Odyssey. I mean, Odyssey's home. I mean, she's still, I would consider her a very new ship. But my guess is once Discovery comes out, that'll probably be a winter sailing destination. That's just a guess. Did you find the beds on Excel as hard as people are saying? Yeah, honestly, I did. And I find that with Celebrity all the time. So I usually ask to see if they can add a topper for me. They don't always have that. They can't always do that. But what they did for me is they put an extra comforter underneath, and it was fine. It was great. But you know what? I've always found that with Celebrity. And over, once the ships are 3-4 months old, they seem to be broken in and not have that issue anymore. Where is the gin and tonic? Well, I got to go pick up my little one from gymnastics after this. So I am doing actually, I love it. It's the Trader Joe's Winter Green Candy Cane tea. But I'll have a gin and tonic later. Don't worry about that. Danny Joan is our favorite. She's very helpful and knowledgeable. What's your favorite restaurant on Aqua? I love that. I'm going to pass that along to Joan. Once again, she's relatively new to us, not new to the industry, and I love to hear that. Favorite restaurant on Aqua? I love Palomar, but Sukhothai was my favorite. I loved it. We went back multiple times, and you'll find me there again and again. I'm Rob from Fresno. I'm cruising on Allure in February for the first time for our 18th anniversary. What do you like most about Allure? I love the layout. I love the vibe. The ship has just always had that kind of relaxing, chill. Oasis had so much pressure of being the biggest ship ever built, the first, in the class. Allure kind of came second, and so that's why a lot of the crew members still love her as well. But don't sleep on Mason Jar. Take your sweetie to Mason Jar. And also, just on a total side note, Paul Gauguin has their Take Your Sweetie to Tahiti promo right now. Killer deal. Unbelievable deal. And it's the best ship in Tahiti, hands down. So anyway, Mason jar, do it. Are any of the cruise lines going back to making smaller ships? Yes and no. You've got like Atlas is coming out with a 400 passenger expedition ship. Orient Express is building small vessels. Four Seasons is building small vessels. But it depends on what you kind of consider small. For the really big cruise lines, the economies of scale just don't work. So, but you've got the Oceanias of the world building small ships as well. Danny, my advisor is Amanda. She's awesome, very knowledgeable. She helped me and my husband have an awesome, fun, stress-free experience on Utopia and Star last year. Looking forward to Icon. I love that. That's our exact goal, and I love that Amanda's been able to do that for you. All right. Shout out to Ceremony Stale on Apex. All right. What celebrity ships will be getting upgraded? Right now, Solstice is getting the very big one, but there's more to come. We don't have that list quite yet, but we'll share that with you as soon as we do. Do you get cabins before they're released to the public? In some cases, we get access before the Res Center, the website goes live. Yeah, in many cases we do. That's why we always recommend that you get on our deployment list so we can try to grab that space before it goes live or right the second it goes live so you don't miss out. What's better for a couple leaving the kids at home, Princess or Royal? I think it depends. So if you're going in a suite, it's really tough to beat Star Class, like impossible. So I would probably go that route. Princess, though, the new Sanctuary Club on Star or Sun Princess, you should definitely consider that. I think that's fantastic. To be honest with you, you may want to consider something even smaller, right? If you're going kid-free, you can get the luxury of having more space, less people on board and less kids. And the other one actually that you may really want to consider is Virgin, right? They're adults only, so you won't even see kids on board. Food is out of this world. The vibe is fantastic. The ships are new. The crew loves what they're doing. It's a great product. Hey, just talked about that. I love Virgin. I think the food's amazing. I think the concept is phenomenal. I think that they have a wonderful crew. Of all the cruise lines, period, they're the ones that allow their crew to be themselves the most, and I really appreciate that. But their included food, guys, it's better than most contemporary cruise line specialty. Their complimentary included food, out of this world. When we were on Icon back in May, we stopped in Ponce. The city was amazing and love to go back. Do you know if Royal is going to be going there in the future? No, because they don't have an official cruise port there. I also boarded in Ponce, and maybe someday they'll build it. I think that would be great if they did. But really, it's just an industrial port that doesn't have the infrastructure built out. Viking Mars was amazing. We went on it last year around the Caribbean for 2 weeks and did Viking to China too. I love it. Guys, I said it earlier, Viking consistently has our top customer feedback. Are you finding it more difficult to make price adjustments on Royal Caribbean? A lot of people are saying most of the sales are for new bookings only. Not really, and I haven't really found that to be true most of the time. I mean, anytime you reprice, it's a rebooking, right? So that's the big part of it. And there are some promos, but no, about 95% of them we've had no problem with whatsoever. And we do a lot of repricings for our guests. We always reprice a booking when we touch it. What's better, Royal Star Class or Virgin's Mega Rockstar? They're so different because of the cruise lines, the products, the ships, who's on the ships. I don't think there's any true fair comparison. But I can say if you're looking for an adults-only experience, you'll love great music and great food. The Mega Rockstar Suite experience is tough to beat, right? They even include transfer and all those different things that they put on there for you. Royal's tough to beat with Star Class as well. It's highly inclusive, but a lot of it depends on what you're looking for in a cruise. There's more bells and whistles. There's no zip lines on Virgin, but I'll tell you what, brunch at the wake, unbelievable food. What's your opinion on MSC World America? We sailed with our 7-year-old daughter, and she loves cruising. I loved it. We took my 9-year-old at the time and 3-year-old at the time, and we had a great cruise. We enjoyed every minute of it. I think there's some. I think the flow is not quite as good as Royal Caribbean and some of their bigger ships. I think there's plenty of things that you could pick at, but the Yacht Club, I would never hesitate from booking the Yacht Club on a world-class ship. I just truly wouldn't, whether it's World America, World Atlantic, World Asia, any of them. I think that experience is amazing. The rest, I think Royal just is so far ahead, I don't think it's close. But price. I just booked a Royal Casino at Sea offer and made a mistake. Are we allowed to cancel and rebook? Yeah, and if you book with Casino at Sea, we can still book for you and help you. Just shoot an email over to info@hartravel.com and see if we can support you on that. But yeah, casino bookings can be changed. When we were on Icon, there we go. Just talked about that. Which ship would you say is the best food? Best big ship food, hands down, Virgin Voyages. Not even close. But beyond that, I'm going to say, to me, it's a tie between Oceania and Crystal. And Crystal has me because you have Nobu on board, right? I mean, Nobu room service, miso. Oh, anyway, sorry. I just got really excited and hungry all of a sudden. Okay. Greetings, Danny. Where is the newest Prima class sailing in 27? When will Oceania be adult only? Pablo's great. I love that, Charlotte. Across the board. Or sorry, Charles Zeta. Sorry about that. It looked really quick. So the Aura will be sailing out of Miami. So doing the classic 7-day. And once again, with their brand new upgrades to their private island, adding a huge water park, adding the big pool, the pier, and having Silver Cove. I'm going to argue with you when that's done. It's probably the best private island experience in the industry. And I say that, I really mean it. There. Oceania, as of now, any new booking is adults only. But in general, they have very, very few kids. Very, very, very few kids. And so there might be a few sailings over the next year or so that have a few kids on there, but realistically, not. No, I'll check that out for you. And I need to do a little bit of research, but happy to do that. The vacation guy. What up, Richard? So good to see my great friend. I've done some incredible cruises, and this gent and he may have helped me survive the pandemic. We had a happy hour, and man, we need to cruise again soon, my friend. It's been too long. Do you get compensated for booking a trip that is paid for with a future cruise credit? We do. In most cases. There's a few cases where that's not the case. But yeah, in most cases we do. And the cruise lines look at it as we do the work for it, so we should get our commission. So reach out. We'd love to help you. Just answered that a second ago. Karina, what can you tell us about celebrity river cruises? Are they adults only? Is it possible to book one? Great question there. So one, it's always good to see you. I think back often to our Adventure of the Seas cruise back in 2021. But celebrity is open. I need to triple check. It's either 8 or 10 years old for minimum age. But yes, you can book it. They only released a few sailings for 2027. There are very few cabins left. 2028 will be coming out, and we will be hosting a group in 2028. We'll let you know as soon as that becomes available. But yeah, let us know, and we can book that for you now. If you book a celebrity cruise, will they ever change the ship to a royal ship? No. Do you find the beds on Excel? Oh, we just answered that there. Cruising with Keith. I love your work through the walkthroughs. Keep up the great work, especially that I'm 6'4", and it lets me know if the shower is good. I love that. Absolutely. What are your thoughts of the key? Well, if you were going to get internet for everybody in the room, it's a no-brainer. Done, right? Boarding day lunch is great. The internet's even better. The access throughout the cruise is a fantastic thing. And then having that expedited boarding as well. So to me, if you don't want internet, then it's something that I think it's overpriced for it. But if you were going to get Voom internet anyways, it's a no-brainer to me. Going to Royal Beach Club in Nassau, we typically get cabanas, just me and my wife. Cabanas are great. I love having a home base, but I think without the kiddos, you'd probably be just fine with the day beds that they have there. Yep. Love your videos. Thank you, Kathleen. It's a labor of love, and it's a true passion to get to do it. So I thank you that. Is it the norm to tip your staff on a cruise? Absolutely, positively. One of my first jobs was working at Little Caesars Pizza. I've worked in dining. I've worked in in fact, every job I've ever had has been in service. And so for me, I always tip. I tip generously on board, and I think you should as well. Guys, the crew, that's how they survive. That's how they take care of their family. And if they do a great job for you, reward them. Take great care of them. Without the crew, you got big hunks of metal floating around the ocean. We usually go through Costco to book our cruises. How does Harr compare? Well, what I can't offer you is diapers or tires, but they don't offer you any service. And basically choosing to go to Costco is saying, I'm going to do this all on my own. I'm going to do it independently. And if there's an issue, whoops, my bad. So we actually got an enormous amount of bookings from guests who used to book through Costco coming out of the pandemic, because the pandemic exposed that they're not there for service, right? It's not about, our advisors are knowledgeable. right? We have the best connections in the industry to the cruise line. So if there's something that needs to happen, if it can happen, we can make it happen. So once again, we don't do a million things, right? We don't sell diapers. We don't do things like that, but they can't even come close to competing with us on service, knowledge, experience, passion, and all of the above. And with our group rates, oftentimes we're less expensive. Any short 3-day cruises for Celebrity? Not on newer ships, but the Reflection, and there might be 1 or 2 like repositionings there, but Reflection has quite a few 3 and 4-day cruises, and I love her. She's a great ship. Starting to like Princess better than Royal or Carnival, turning into a nerd. Well, first off, I'm a nerd. I think there's lots of ways to be nerds. I'm a cruise nerd. I'm also a gardening nerd. I'm also an aviation nerd, right? I love things that I love. And well, anyway, Princess is different than Royal and Carnival, but it's amazing. It's a phenomenal cruise product. And once again, that's the beauty of cruising. Even within the fleet, there's a perfect Princess ship for your cruise. Let us know what you need, and then we can help you pick that perfect one. What's your favorite Star Class amenity on Royal? I mean, I love the unlimited specialty dining. It's tough to beat that. But guys, showing up for a show 3 minutes before it starts, walking down to your seat, having the genie pull off the covers, doesn't get much better than that. Just wanted to give a shout out to Robert. We kept him busy last year with 5 bookings. Thank you, Sven. I love that. He'll love it as well. I was actually just helping him book a cruise for himself just a few minutes before we started. Hello. All right. Which ship, sorry, it's fighting me here, would you recommend for someone bringing the Love Boat, binging Love Boat, and wanting a similar experience to the show? Well, first off, I probably wouldn't go with Princess then. I personally would probably go with an Azamara, right? Because the ships, the Pacific Princess and the Island Princess that the original Love Boat was filmed on, that's the size that they were, right? Nothing's going to compare on the mega ship. That said, I love the new Sanctuary collection, and you can't go wrong with Star or Sun for that. I've done 2 cruises, Celebrity in 22, Norwegian this past March. Made amazing friends I still talk to this day. I love it, guys. That's one of the great things about cruising. So many of my lifelong friends, sorry, getting hiccups. So many of our lifelong friends I met on a cruise. All right, guys, 5 degrees in Maine, and now we just booked NCL Breakaway to Bermuda for late April. I love it. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Hope you booked it with Harr Travel. And I believe that's one that you could get our free gratuity promotion that we have on there right now. But this is what I wore today out. It's 65 degrees here in Southern California, but it was freezing this morning when I woke up. It was 52. All right. Have you done fall foliage in cruise to Canada, New England, September, October? If so, which cruise line would you recommend? I did. I loved it. It was one of the best group trips we've ever put together. We did it on the Oceania Riviera, and we went from Montreal to New York City. And I mean, I think that you could, there's plenty of cruise lines that do a great job there. I would pick based on the things that you love. But small ship, the fall foliage, I think is the best. Question with Virgin, are you hearing about a slide in food consistency? My last cruise with them was sadly a hit and miss. I haven't really. So I hate to hear that, but overwhelmingly, food has been like a 9.2 to 9.5 out of 10 for us consistently from the reviews. But you know, feel free to share that feedback with me. Send me a message. I'm happy to reach out to our reps because they take food very seriously. In fact, it's the same company that does the food for Oceania and Virgin. Which cruise line do you think gives back the most rewards to complimentary cruises? For specifically complimentary cruises, I think they're all about the same. I think that Royal's rewards program is the most generous out there personally. But I love it, like MSC does Status Match, and so does Explora and some of the other ones there. Love my Harr Travel advisor. I love to hear that too, Rhonda. Love working with you. It's always been a great, great blessing to get to work with you and your husband. Have you ever done the retreat on Apex? If so, what are your thoughts? I did. I loved it. Back in February and March of 2022, we did a back-to-back-to-back. So three cruises in one of their penthouses. Man, do I miss? I really miss pandemic pricing. I'll just say that. But we had a great time. I love the retreat sun deck area that they have, the retreat lounge. But having, especially with the premium suites, having access to all that incredible food, the dining, it's a phenomenal experience. It's a great ship within a ship experience. Is it true that Virgin is going to start sailing out of Los Angeles? Yes. Not a ton, but she'll be going through the canal and then doing some LA-based cruises and then up to Alaska, then back to LA and through the canal. So yeah, we're going to have a handful. What do you think about the family townhouse? It's amazing. My kids loved it. I loved it. I don't think it gets any better than that. Have you done any cruises over here in Australia before? We have that one that leaves from Brizzy to Papua New Guinea and the South Pacific. Really nice. So the only cruise I've done to Australia was actually a 30-day cruise on the Pacific Princess from Cape Town to Sydney. So we did Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Hobart, Tasmania, and then finished in Sydney. Unbelievable cruise. Yes, true guide dogs, cruise lines do absolutely. They absolutely allow them. What are your thoughts on Ovation of the Seas? Well, I've cruised on her 6 times. I loved every bit of it, and I'm so happy to have her back in LA. She's getting a massive renovation here in March, and I can't wait to see that incredible reno when she comes back. I booked with Harr for the first time on a Viking cruise for September 27. Hope for a great experience. I hope so too. I hope it's already been a great experience. But keep in mind, you have our entire team to support you. Our Viking concierge team will reach out to you as you get closer in. But if you need anything, reach out to your advisor. I'm always an email away as well, Danny@harrtravel.com. But thanks, Alfred. I think it's Alfredo. I love to hear you are an aviation nerd. I went to the United States Air Force Academy, and one of the first things you do there as a cadet is you have to memorize the profile of every plane. And so my kids love that still. I live in Redlands, California, and March Air Force Base isn't that far away. They have an amazing air museum. I used to volunteer there, take the kiddos all the time. But if it's an airplane and it's in the air, I can probably let you know exactly what it is from the lower profile. Going to Mahogany Bay on Star Princess, any suggestions? Not really. I haven't been there. I've gotten mostly, good feedback, but I don't really know much about it. I apologize for that. Sorry to hear about your back. I appreciate that, George. Thank you. Should have mentioned we love your videos. You're the reason we started cruising, and it's how we select our rooms. And we've used your agents for Star and Sky. I love that. Perfect. 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 How's the Norwegian Aqua? I love it, right? I mean, every ship has ultimate pros and cons. If there's any con, I think the spaces are still a little bit small, so you got to pre-plan and pre-book a little bit more. But the food was amazing. The service was phenomenal. I won money in the casino. It was all great. I love the Aqua. Just answered that. Absolutely. Which is the more important ship or itinerary? We see an itinerary we really like on a ship we aren't thrilled about. It really depends, right? I mean, we're happy to help guide you through that and answer those questions. But, that's that conundrum. Most of the time, I would go with the itinerary because you're looking for that. But could there possibly be another ship from another cruise line that does a similar itinerary that's a better fit? That's the real question. Why does there seem to be very few Trans-Pacific cruises from the West Coast to Asia? Really, it's because it's a repositioning cruise only. So you always see ships at the end of Alaska season head to Asia, and then they usually come back, or Australia and New Zealand. Booked my first cruise on the Beyond. Are you super excited to try something new? Loved your video covering it. Is there any specialties that are a must? I think the steakhouse, I don't know why, but the Caesar salad is the best I've ever had on a cruise ship. But steakhouse is always good. I love raw and 5. Personally, crab legs, more crab legs, and then some crab claws with the crab legs. C'est magnifique. The best one is Eden. It's in the back of the ship. It's gorgeous setting, but that Branzino, I just said that out loud and my mouth started watering. Unbelievable. When will 28 Alaska bookings open up? Any Harr group sailings plan? Yes, to Harr group sailings planned in 28. We'll be announcing them sooner than later. Summer of 28 is not open yet. My guess is we're about probably July is usually when they put that out, July or August. But once again, let us know, get on our deployment list, and we'll let you know as soon as the hosted or as soon as that Alaska 28 comes out. Danny, love your channel. First-time cruiser looking to book something in April or May. True or false? Do some travel agencies offer more flexible payment options and direct booking? Any other tips? Not really. The only truly flexible booking options would be if you use, what's it called? It's Uplift. They changed their name recently. But basically, you're taking a loan out on it. Realistically, if you're booking for April, May, you're probably paying in full at time of booking. But reach out, see if we can't help you. Yes, those are the ones we just talked about there. Do the staff expect you to order 3-course meal every night. No, you order exactly what you want. That's it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up here in just a minute. If you have any last-minute questions, toss them in here. Most importantly, don't forget to sign up for our Thursday deep dive into Royal Caribbean 2026. Win a free cruise, but more importantly, learn a bit more about Royal Caribbean, and we can all come together on that. So it looks like I got through all the questions tonight, guys. It's been a pleasure, as always. Love spending my Tuesdays with you. I'll be back live next Tuesday, same time, same place, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, ciao for now.